Hey, welcome back to the Boys 161st Street, episode 130. Today is June 3rd, 2021. The Rays beat us in the last game, but we did take two. And we did say before this series, what would you be happy with? And I said I would be happy if we did win two against the Rays.
No, it was three between the Rays
the
and
two
the
series.
Sox.
That was what I'd be happy with, considering once we got swept, that was what I'd be happy with. So we're ahead of schedule in that regard. So as long as we don't get swept, then I'm happy. But now I'm in a different happiness. Now I want to at least take two against the Red Sox because we have some momentum going. I don't want to be all sad because usually every episode we record, the last game we lose, and we're always
Can I say one thing?
not at our peak happiness going into the next episode, and that happened again. But
Can I say one thing?
we've got some momentum.
No.
I mean, it's pretty easy to get momentum from where we're at, like in the Tigers series. So that's it. Today, I am joined by Chandler and Damin. My name is Luke. Thank you for joining us to talk about the Yankees. Now you could say something.
Okay. It was back, on that. No time like now. I don't want to bring it up. I don't want to be a pessimist the whole time. But is there any team in baseball that capitalizes worse on a momentum swinging game like the fucking Yankees? Every time we have a chance to sweep, the last game, I don't think we've won a last game of the series the whole year. I know that's not true.
I think it could potentially be true. That's what I was trying to get at.
I know it's not true because we have one sweep. I know that. But I'm just saying, it feels like every last game we fucking lose. This was a huge game with Cole on the mound. You win that game, that is a huge confidence boost. But
also, this
whatever.
is like,
we'll get into that later. But fuck, man, win a momentum shifter. Let's go on a streak.
Also, why do we just win? It feels like to me we can't take care of business against the teams that are actually not good. And then when a team comes into town, yes, we split against the Rays, and that's not obviously winning the series, but we still did really well against them, and maybe not so much in the last game, but we looked good overall when you look at the 4 games set. Not a lot of teams, especially considering they were 15-1 coming into that game, I think it was. And to go back to my point, why do we take care of business against teams like the Rays, who were the hottest team in baseball coming in? And then also the other team that we beat or swept, honestly, was the White Sox when they were the hottest team coming in. So we seem to be able to, at least in these two instances, be the stopper on a hot streak for them. But then there's no way we carry this momentum. Or a team like the Tigers can sweep us right before taking 2 out of 4 against the Rays, which we shouldn't have done, to be honest. That shouldn't have been the way that ended up happening, considering the way we've been playing. So when you look at it from that angle, that was a huge win on our behalf, considering they were the hottest ever and we were the least hot in the world. So when you look at that, that's unbelievable. I mean, the White Sox going into the other series when they had the best record in baseball, but coming into that series, they were 10-3 in their last 13 games. It's just crazy. It's crazy to me that we're this inconsistent of a baseball team. I'm happy with the result in this series, but inconsistency it's horrible. It's horrible.
There's just it's not even inconsistency because we're still playing the same brand of baseball, right? It's not like we've changed anything drastic. The hitting's still struggling, and even the game we scored 5 or 6 runs in, the hitting was still bad. Like we scored 2 on pass balls and then 2 home runs. Like it's more of the same. Whatever. Getting 2 there, I saw somebody tweet at us that was like, oh, how the mighty have fallen. The mighty have been fallen, dude. We haven't won a fucking thing in 12 years. Like, chill out. Like, I feel like coming in and splitting against the Rays this weekend, clearly we have shit to figure out. Like, this team is not a World Series contender as it stands right now. We all know that. But if you sit here and you stay afloat in the division until we figure it out, whether it be a trade, whether it be a change in the philosophy completely, whether it be a coaching change in the hitting coach, whatever it is, if you can stay afloat until we hit that change, I'm fine with that. As long as we don't lose more and more ground, whatever. Get through these stretches in the East where you're still hanging near the top and then strike on the bad teams. We need to beat up on the bad teams, hang around in the East teams, and that's fine.
This would have been huge to take this series too, especially because of the in-division stuff, but I'm happy with what we did get.
Too much.
I'm happy with what we got. I'm ecstatic about what we got because we can still take 5 out of the 7, which would be ridiculous if we did that, if we do end up sweeping the Red Sox, who are struggling too right now. They could potentially they might get swept. I don't know if the game is already happening by the time we're recording this, but they They did win. They almost got 4 games swept by the Astros coming in. So they're kind of limping in. Obviously, we know that doesn't really matter in our case because momentum doesn't exist. But
Chandler, are you saying that you would, like, you're saying we want to stay afloat until there's a point where we are able to, like, where a trade still matters, or like where signing someone still matters?
Right now, I think it's
like we don't want to get too far down where like it's not worth a trade anymore.
So here's what I'm saying is that it's kind of been more of the same since 2017, really. 2017, we had that miracle run with the team that wasn't worth it. And then it's kind of just been underperforming. This is the team we have. Something needs to change. And we can all agree on that, regardless of how the next 3 games go or whatever. Something in this organization needs to change, whether it be internal personnel or what we're putting on the field. If we can stay afloat until we find whatever that balance is, whether it's calling up Florial, trading for a center fielder, replacing the hitting coach, changing the whole philosophy of what we're doing at the plate. Because, I mean, I think it's inevitable at this point that something has to change, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to come out here and keep putting this product on the field. I mean, you can, but you're going to get the same result. You can't expect something different. We're fielding the same team year after year. So I think it's inevitable that we're going to, change something. And I think if you can stay afloat in the division until you make that change, that's fine. That's all you can ask for as a fan, unless you just want to keep rolling the same team out here and be a wild card team.
I don't understand the people that are saying, "Oh, Marcus Thames needs to get fired." Is it Thames or Thames?
I think it's
Tim's? Is it Tim's?
Thames.
Sounds
I don't give a shit what his name is. He doesn't matter. At the end of the day is what I'm trying to get at. The people that are saying, "Oh, fire Marcus Thames, fire him right now. He's the reason why the offense isn't working." He's not the reason. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Coaches only matter so much. I know it matters, but it's not life-changing to the point where this is going to turn around because the coach, the hitting coach changes. The offense, I mean, their issues run deeper than just a hitting coach. They aren't doing anything. There's no person who is doing anything and carrying any momentum like we were talking about this entire time. And the 2 people that are actually doing well all of a sudden, which we are going to get into in Hot or Not, are actually, let's just get into Hot or Not because I don't want to show my hand to you guys. Who wants to do the hots? Who wants to do the nots today?
Damin, you pick.
You know what, Chandler? I appreciate that. I'll do the knots.
I feel like the hots are the fun ones, so that's a nice gesture.
Yeah, I know.
By you.
That's a huge gesture.
Hot or Not
is in the show right now. I just want to say thank you.
Come over here, Chandler.
Hot or Not is presented by Action Network. Download the Action Network app. Follow our action. We're not good bettors, but we have fun. Jinx, you owe me nothing. Hot or Not. All right, first on the docket for the hot list is somebody that we've been... Honestly, he was shunned. He was shunned. And I have a question for you after that, but Clint Frazier, 4 RBIs, 4 walks in the last 2 games, walk-off home run, diving catch, 14% walk rate, which is 6th in the MLB this entire year. Buying or selling?
Tentative buy.
Okay. Miguel Andujar, last 16 games, 309, batting average, 3 home runs in the last series.
Buy to the moon. Miguel Andujar is the Dogecoin of MLB.
We'll get there. Jordan Montgomery, last 3 starts, 18 innings pitched and 4 earned runs given up.
Buy.
A lot of buying.
You just buy everything. I don't think we can.
No, I don't. I actually usually sell most. Check the tape.
But like he buys, and then his sells are the tentative buys, which aren't really
not true.
Selling.
Allow me to explain. What was
so you tentatively bought Clint? Tell me why you tentatively bought Clint.
I tentatively bought Clint because you didn't really give. I mean, yeah, I buy that he can walk, and I buy that he can drive in runs. It's not like whether I'm buying or not, he's going to be a superstar. You didn't ask me that. You am I buying his performance right now? Yeah, I mean that's what we expected the whole year. That's what we came into the season expecting, was him to be this guy that's at least league average, which is what he's performing at, and maybe slightly above, which he was the number 4 prospect in baseball. Yeah, I'm tentatively buying him producing at what he's supposed to do.
Okay, so the buy in this instance, the reason why he makes it onto Hot or Not here, 1, because he's hot, and 2, because he was previously shunned by Damin on the podcast. So
Well,
This is a good way of bringing it up. Is he unshunned, Damin?
Well, this
no, because I made it very clear. I said once he hits 220, I'll start talking more about
What's he doing now?
He's like 181 still.
Okay, so he's got a long ways to go, but it was a short stretch of good games, and he does have to build on that. But hot nonetheless.
I'm still, me. I'm still the biggest supporter out there. I want him to do better, and I think he knows.
You expect
he can do
more.
better. I expect more. I'm not mad. I'm disappointed.
So you expected this, and you expected to continue.
I very well expected him to be better and improve, but I think that it's just such a short glimpse that I still need to give it some time before I can fully get behind it.
You need to heal.
I need to heal.
And one thing too that
you've been hurt bad.
I've been hurt. How long does it take to go over a breakup? You need that much time.
Never had a breakup.
Me neither. I can't relate.
I had one girlfriend.
Stages of grief. I think it takes like a year.
I don't know. I had a girlfriend in like 5th grade.
I had one girlfriend my entire life, and I'm still dating her. Was that a cute story for the fans? That's my life, sick. Everybody.
Sick, dude.
So
I have 2, so I can't even talk.
Yeah, look at him getting red and shit.
I'm just sweating.
Oh my God,
because this apartment is fucking hot.
I know, just conveniently it's hot now, huh?
Yeah. So, one other thing too that maybe allowed Clint to get hot. I mean, how about playing him after having a hot night?
That helps.
How about not giving him the pine? How about him and Andujar also? Another guy who got on the hot list, partially due to being played. I mean, another guy who isn't getting played might make his debut on a different segment in about 2 minutes, but Giancarlo Stanton gets the off days, and we are going to talk about the rest and nonsense like that. We've talked about it before at length, but it's causing the hot and nots thing, and maybe that's the issue. Maybe all of the Yankees' offensive struggles stem from the playing time, stem from the decisions to give people rest and not give them rest, and give them scheduled off days, which is my least favorite word or grouping of words in the world. Maybe the entire offense as a whole can get it going if we don't get scheduled off days, because I would like to see the numbers to see the portion of games that our starters have played against other stars in the MLB, like who not based on injuries, because I think the only thing that, Acuna and Soto, they both been hurt, and that's the only reason why those percentage of play may even be remotely close. Because
but even when they're hurt, they're still out there. Like Acuna will get hurt and he'll miss a game.
My point is, the only thing keeping them out of the lineup is getting hurt, not coaches' decisions. We have to deal with getting hurt and coaches' decisions. So our guys are playing about 60% of the games. I'm just ballparking, but that's my point on this. The only reason why guys like Bellinger and Tatis and all these guys are getting sat is because of injuries, because of their own personal injuries, not because of the coaches keeping them out. And maybe that's why they're all getting hot. That's what I'm saying. Maybe that's a way we can get the offense to get going finally. And this has been a problem for the last couple years. We've always been doing this fucking nonsense. Not as much as we are this year with the load management. And I do think, now that I've talked myself into it, that is a primary reason as to why the Yankees can't get hot and why everybody can't make this hot list. And some of them make the not list.
So here's the thing, real quick.
You agree?
Yeah, I do.
I think we just dissected the Yankees. Put on my surgical mask that I actually don't even need to edit into the podcast. I got one over there I can put on. I'm a doctor. I just prescribed the fix for the Yankees, and that's that.
So you criticized me for calling everybody hot. This is something I kind of wanted to address real quick.
You are hot.
No, I'm pretty pessimistic usually because
hot.
I know that, but I'm just saying for the talking purposes,
okay.
They're listening over a podcast app. They can't see, the magic that's happening through the camera.
They can if they check us out on YouTube, Bronx Finch YouTube ad.
But, so you talked to Clint, or you talked to me about Clint. He's supposed to be good. Yeah, I'm buying him being league average.
But Chandler, everyone Yankees is supposed to be good.
Time out. Let me finish. Andujar, that's a cheap shot because Andujar was my second favorite Yankee behind Didi, and that's held true for years now. I will support Andujar if he's hitting 0. I love that guy.
0.
Yeah, I'll still support him. He's hitting the ball hard, whatever.
He's playing well.
He's playing amazing. And I told you this, I think it was 2 or 3 episodes ago. I said, hey, look out for Andujar. Come playoff time, he's going to be starting in left field. I think as that's progressed, that's actually timed up, like, that's progressing well. I think that that's a really realistic scenario, barring some crazy, and assuming we don't trade for Starling Marte or something like that. I feel like that's a very realistic scenario. He's playing out of his fucking mind right now. He's playing the level that he did when he won Rookie of the Year. I know he didn't actually win, but he won in my eyes because that was bullshit.
Yeah.
And then what was the last one? Montgomery. That one we can actually talk about whenever you're ready. But
I would like to dissect a little bit of what you said on the Andujar thing, because I have a question for you guys.
Lay it on me.
My question is, how do we fit him in the lineup every day? Because he is currently one of the only bats that is hitting well. And that you said left field, we're going to see him in the playoffs. I guess that's a loaded question. One, since he is one of the hottest bats, where are we going to fit him to play every day? I do think it'll be left field.
I mean, that's the only place you can put him.
Two, are we confident in him in left field? Three, if he's not left field, I guess I'm answering the question. I'll let you guys answer it after that. I think the only spot for him is left field because I think it's going to be a mix. I think it'll
good.
I think it'll be a mix of left field and DH when Stanton gets these scheduled off days. So maybe he does a little bit of both, and he's the DH guy that we throw in there because maybe he gets a couple starts here and there at third base. I don't see that happening very often. And even if we did a shuffle of Gio to shortstop and then Glaber to second and then somebody to first, I don't foresee him getting the nod at third. I don't think that makes us better. I think it makes us worse at third base and slightly better at shortstop. So I think that shuffle
makes us below average everywhere.
Exactly. Everybody's out of position. We talked about that a little bit before too. And I know Joel Sherman was talking about that a little bit too. But my question is, do you actually see Andujar as being the solution in left field, or do you see him as a solution until we make a move and not start him in the playoffs?
Well, I feel like that. I mean, I've watched pretty much all the games so far, and I haven't seen anything crazy like staring me in the face that says he can't play left field right now. I mean, again, he's not going to be a Gold Glover. He's not going to be making these crazy catches, but he can play the position, and I don't think there's anything that has suggested that he can't go out there and I'm like, yeah, like he can play. I'm not like super confident. Like we were talking about it when there was runners on second and third or whatever, and they had the ratings of everybody's arm in the outfield. It was like Gardner, and Duhar and Frazier, and like if I have Gardner and I have Andujar in the outfield when there's a high leverage situation play and there's gonna be a play at the plate, that's when it's like, fuck, that scares me because I need an arm in the outfield, especially in playoff time when there's gonna be some bang plays. He's not a guy I want the ball hit to in the outfield when he needs to throw it home and make a good play and a good throw. Like Gardner or Andujar. I'm talking about Andujar, but both of them. Yeah. Like they're like that's the only reason why I'm not so sold on the on the him being in left field, but that is a very unique situation. So I think there are some things where if Boone is smart and if it's the end of the game, he can make that switch there. But I think that it just, I guess the reason is like it puts a lot more pressure on his bat because he's in the lineup for his bat. And if he starts hitting just a little bit worse, then that automatically just kind of downplays his overall caliber as a player. So he needs to kind of continue hitting the way he is right now and maybe even be a little bit better for us to say, okay, he needs to be in our playoff roster.
How can he be better? He's hitting.
He can definitely be better. He's not playing unbelievable.
He's hitting in the mid 300s, hitting home runs.
Just like you said, he can be better. That's not downplaying how he's playing right now. I'm uplifting what I know he can do because he's one of the Rookie of the Year. He should have.
So here's the thing, and this is what needs to happen going forward. Until there's another solution, Brett Gardner doesn't need to see playing time. I don't care what he did today. I know he had a great game. Dude's ancient.
He should not be out there.
He's struggling, and we can all agree on that. Whether I love Brett Gardner. He embodies the Yankee. He's been an amazing Yankee for it seems like 30 years. But what needs to happen is Judge looked fine in center field. Judge needs to be manning center field right now. We don't have a center fielder. If you're not going to call it Florial, we don't have a center fielder. Let Judge play center. You let Andujar play left. Let Clint play right. Clint's got a decent arm. Judge has a decent arm. Then your only arm is lacking in left field. The bat, you have presumably 3 good bats all the way around. Clint, obviously hasn't been producing so far, but he's kind of caught a little bit of a hot streak. So you let his bat play in left field. If you have a below average arm, he's looked good in left field. Like it or hate it, I mean, he's looked good. Not like average. I mean, he is average, but you know what I mean. He's not struggling. He's not, fumbling his way around balls. He looks fine, and that's something they praise about him. Michael Kay and whoever he's with every game, they're like, you know what? He looks natural out there, and that's all you can ask for. I'm not asking for Gold Glove defense. He looks natural. That's fine. Give me natural left field with a below average arm, whatever. That's 90% of the league. Then you get center field with Judge, whatever. He's fine. He's good out there. Barring an injury, cool. And then Frazier and Wright. That should be your outfield going forward. Barring a trade or a call-up, that should be your outfield. Brett Gardner should be on the bench. And Andujar with the way he's hitting. And this has been his thing his whole career, though. That's what I'm saying. This shouldn't surprise anybody. Like, when he got called up his rookie year, it was with the Brandon Drury injury. Everybody, we traded for him. It was supposed to be, Andujar was a highly touted prospect. And it was always like, will his glove play? Will his glove play? Whatever. Drury got hurt. Andujar came up. He was like 1 for his first 18. Everybody's like, oh, fuck. Well, he can't play defense or hit. And then he started catching the fire. It's kind of the same thing right now. And it's been the same thing every time he's been up. It happened last year, too, when he kind of got the end-of-year call. He sucked ass, and then he started catching fire for about 2 weeks, and he got sent down because Gio came back after his elbow thing. So he didn't really have the chance to capitalize on his hot streak. This year, there's nobody blocking him because Hicks is, at the glue factory. But that's what I'm saying is he has unlimited opportunity this year. If he gets a whole year out there, there's no reason to think he's not a 290, 300 hitter with 20 home runs. And if that's what he's producing at the plate, that's, it all boils down to that. If he's producing to that at the plate and he's out in the outfield playing adequate defense, I'm not asking for a Gold Glove. You come out there and you play adequate, he's your everyday left fielder. There's no question about it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. If he's adequate in the outfield and he's producing the way he is at the plate, he's your left fielder.
Yeah, I think that I agree with everything you just said. I think that my main point behind what I was saying before is that if Gardner is in center field and like that's their solidified, forget what happens in the future. Let's just say Boone's like, Gardner, you're playing center field and it's playoff time. That's when it becomes an issue for me because then we have two guys who are not great throwing outfielders and playing outfielders in the playoffs.
So I have a question.
The nostalgia factor aside, Brett Gardner should not be playing.
I have a question. It has to do with that. So I think Andujar's role on this team going forward is entirely dependent on the center field situation. And my question to you guys about the center field situation is, would you rather have Florial? Because I'm assuming it's an in-house decision we're making. If we make a deal for a center fielder, which we obviously, the reason we're having this conversation, it's pretty obvious we need to get a center fielder. We're missing a true defender center fielder, Starlin Marte. We're missing that guy who can be that all around player for you that lets everybody else fall into place. We're missing that guy. But for the time being in-house, would you rather have Florial, Gardner, and honestly, we talked about Judge in center field. I don't want Judge in center field, and I honestly found it interesting that they even let Judge play center field, not because of his ability, and I tweeted this too, it's not because of his ability. I know he can do it. I know he's a great defender, and I know he's got speed, he's got an arm, he could do everything that could be a center fielder. That's not the part that I question. The reason why I was shocked was that he became the center fielder after they treat him like a baby and everything else he does. So that'd be like, what if they threw one day, this may not be exactly the same, but if they throw fucking Stanton in center field, would you be shocked? Yeah, because of the way they've treated him. And honestly, it baffles me that they do that, and then they'll probably give him an off day again. Like, it's just, the way they're treating these players is the reason why I was shocked about that center field thing, and it's the reason I'd be shocked if they did him as a center fielder going forward. And I don't see that being what they do. I think Judge will be in right field, and that's his thing, Judge's chambers. So my question, again, to you guys is Florial or Gardner or Clint in center field, because I think Clint makes more sense, and that's what Michael Kay was saying too. He's like, why not put Clint out there because of what I just said about, how he's been treated as a baby with bubble wrap before. I think my choice would be to give Florial the call up, because why the fuck not? He hasn't necessarily done great in the minors, I know that, but he comes up, he hits a double, He's a plus defender with a lot of speed. He's a lefty bat too, and he's better than what we got now. I think the long-term solution would be to get another guy to come in here, because I don't think the solution to win a World Series or make the playoffs or all these things and string wins together, I don't think that solution is here. But for the time being, I say why the fuck not bring up Florial, because Gardner has had the third worst weighted runs created plus on the team at 50, and he's amongst people that you don't want to be talked about in the same sentence in terms of offense, short sample size or not. Him, Ryan Lamar, and Jay Bruce are the only three next to him in terms of the worst on our team in weighted runs created plus, and he's got a lot of at-bats. That's not a short sample size on his part.
Yeah,
why not Judge? Why not Judge?
I don't mind Judge. I don't think that we would do that.
I don't either, but like, if in my perfect world, I don't want Fleury up right now. I think Fleury is going to be a good player down the road. I don't think he's fully matured yet, in all honesty. And I would love to have him up there. I think he's electric, but it's taken him a while to get his feet under him in the minors. This year's the first year since probably his first year in the minors since he's really broke out. I want him to sustain it down there, because I feel like he's kind of hit that tipping point where if you call him up too early, you'll spoil it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a fine line where you can call them up early and they could struggle, and then, you know, you can send them back down and get their feet on them. It kind of happened with Byron Buxton. You know, they called him up too early. He sucked ass. They sent him back down, brought him back up. They kind of played that right, and they almost missed their window with him. And Esteban Flores is not nearly the player that Byron Buxton is. I know that. But it's kind of the same situation. If you call him up too early and you stunt what he's doing down there, then you've wasted what's one of your best prospects. I think it's too early for him, in all honesty. Like, I think in a dire situation, he could do it okay, but I don't want to see him there.
Yeah.
Clint, I don't think he gets great reads out there, and center field, it's crucial to get a good read in the outfield. That's why, if it's up to me, and I know this wasn't one of your options, I'm picking Judge as my everyday center fielder until further notice. Him, Frazier, and Hor.
See, that's a potential option, but I really don't think, in our minds, that's a potential option. I didn't put it in that question because I don't see the Yankees doing it. I see them doing it as a one-day plug-and-play. I don't see them doing it as a
I think
everyday.
I think it's interesting because I don't know. Well, I guess I'm interested to see how this series goes, because I think that today was tricky for him to play center field because of Stanton. Because I think if Stanton was healthy and he was playing and wasn't going through this ridiculous rehab process that we'll get into a little bit later, like, if he wasn't going through that process right now, he'd be DHing. I truly think that Judge would be in center field again today if it wasn't for Stanton. If it wasn't for Stanton being unavailable tonight. So I think that's going to be interesting to see this next series if Stanton gets a few games in and Judge is still playing the field, where they're going to put him. Because I think if he starts to play more center field and gets more comfortable with it, and Duhar's still hitting and Clint seems to get it going, then, you know, Judge is going to play regardless if he's doing poorly or not. So I'm not saying he's doing poorly, but I'm saying it's mostly dependent on you have Duhar and Frazier, who are still going to be able to hit. And if they're getting hot, they got to play somewhere. And then I do think if the three of them are out there, that is the outfield that I would put out there. It's Judge and center. You also got to think about Florial. Like, he was in Double A this year, and he got just got called up to Triple A, and then he made an appearance in the majors for a game. But
I don't think Florial's ready either. But I do.
He's only 23, dude.
I don't care. I know. I don't think he's ready, but I honestly, I don't know. I think he's better than we got now, and
he hasn't
been great in the minors either. I looked up his numbers in the minors. He's in like 220.
He's played 12 games in AAA this year.
I know. Yeah, I know.
Well, so
he's not ready.
The thing with him is he had the injury history forever. Are you really? I know you said you feel more confident now, though. Are you willing to compromise his future value for like a half year of him being adequate?
No, that's why I think the true answer here is to sign Starlin Marte, and I think it's fairly obvious. Maybe even just any outfielder. One outfielder, whether it be any of the ones we named before, Starlin Marte, Ketel Marte can even play the outfield, Andrew Benintendi, any of these guys can alleviate all of these problems because we don't have a true center fielder on this team. We wanted it to be Hicks. He obviously sucks and is injured, We wanted it to be Gardner. Gardner is he can man center field, and I think he will be the true answer. And Fangraphs agrees with that. I look at they have a projection as to who would be playing the most percentage of games going forward for the rest of the year at each position. I looked at center field. They have Gardner penciled in at 57%. They have Florial at 19%, Ryan Lamar at 12%, Clint at 8%, and Greg Allen at 4%. I hope to God we don't see Greg Allen in there even at 4%, or Ryan Lamar even at 12%, but I know that'll happen. They have Gardner with the lion's share of playing time in center field, and I'm not sure we can afford that, considering how miserable of a player he's been offensively. I know he had the home run today, and hopefully that gets it going for him, but I'm going to need to see more than one game's worth of playing good baseball, considering how bad he's been
coming
this
into
entire
that. He
season.
was 1 for his last 22.
I know,
with like 10 Ks.
Yeah.
So,
and he's going to make it onto the knots, and we should honestly let's start the knots right now.
Oh yeah, we've been doing this for like 45 minutes.
That's fine. We want to talk
was some
about that
good
anyway.
banter.
It was great.
That was some
banter,
friendly
Damin.
banter. So let's get into the knots. If the
Oh wait, we never did Jordan Montgomery.
It's
good.
all right. He's fine. I'm cool with him.
He never gets
So the
love he
knots.
deserves.
He's cool.
He's playing well for the past 3 games. So who hasn't played well is Brett Gardner. Was 1 for his last 22 before today. He goes 2 for 3 with the home run. He hit the ball hard the third time too, and I just don't think that's enough for me right now to not put him on the not list. I put this on the knots, before today's game, and I was hoping that he would, not hoping that he would do bad, but I don't think this does enough to take him off the not list. And he had a 50 weighted runs created plus for the rest of the season, third worst in the team. Negative 7.6 offensive WAR, 186 batting average, and a noodle arm.
I am agreeing that he should be on the knots. I am.
Do you think today was enough to?
No, I do not.
No. DJ, last 11 games, 27 weighted runs created plus, 188 batting average, 20% K percentage, only 1 RBI.
I'm not worried at all.
Giancarlo Stanton.
Afterwards.
Giancarlo Stanton, 1 for his last 18 since coming back off the IL. Obviously didn't change today, considering he got the day off. 9 strikeouts out of the 18 at-bats, 53% K percentage, negative 48 WRC plus.
It's a tough one. I am going to... I am worried.
I want to know how these are calculated, because negative 48 WRC plus is tough. Ryan Lamar had the negative 52 on the year, which is obviously over like 3 games, but negative 48, like, I'm going to look into how that's calculated, because that's interesting. Regardless, tough.
Yeah.
That probably the K percentage probably outweighs things and says, yeah.
I'm sure. So Gardner, we'll
get back to you
talk
on
about that a lot, Gardner. So I don't need to beat a dead horse. DJ, I'm not really worried about, just because I think he's been getting some bad luck, especially the last couple of games I've been watching. He's been hitting the ball like missiles, just right at guys. So obviously he's not playing to the standard that we thought he was going to be playing at, and
that's actually true. The metrics back that I saw,
like his hard hit percentage
is BABIP.
Yeah, it was like his X WOBA or whatever
Expected.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's been hitting the ball
was
hard,
well above average. He's supposed to be, according to this stat, which read into the metrics all you want, but you're right on that. He's been hitting into bad luck, like actually metrically speaking.
So that's a big reason why I think that that's just tough for confidence and mentality. It's like, fuck, I'm hitting the ball right at these guys all the time, and that feels as bad as just striking out sometimes. So I'm not too worried about that, but again, I think that it sucks because DJ has always been like that rock that we can always count on, even when the rest of the team is streaky. And when our rock is also being streaky and not playing as well, that's really just that's the dagger right there. That's just you're on your last leg, and it's just you're in Mortal Kombat, and it's just finish him.
I will say, you don't seem to be very worried at all about DJ, and I agree. I did just look up the numbers to fact check you, Chandler, because I don't usually agree with things you say. I need to make sure they're correct. And his expected batting average is 296 this year. He is getting a little unlucky in terms of the the cards he's been dealt in the fielding, because his batting average this year is 255. So it's about 50 point. It should be about 50 points higher. I don't directly think those are 100% aligned, but the one thing I will say that is a little bit more worrisome is that he's striking out a ton, dude. He's had a higher strikeout percentage than he's ever had in his career. He's 78th percentile in K percentage. He's 88th percentile in chase rate, 85th in whiff rate, 8th in barrels, which I don't think he's ever really been that high on. His hard hit, his max exit velocity, hard hit percentage are relatively high. Expected batting average is actually in the 80th percentile. So, I'm worried about the strikeouts, because he has been one person that always does chase, which is something interesting that we found out last year about him. He chases a lot in the, we looked at the analytics and the numbers on the, it was the Z swing and the O swing. Z swing is the percentage of time he swings at strikes, and O swing is the percentage of times he swings at balls outside the zone. And his O swing was very, very high in like the 99th percentile, but he just made contact so much. He's not making the same contact as he was in prior years. I expect that to come up, and you could see it out of him. He's not happy with himself too, and he's one of the guys who is going to keep working at it. He got visibly angry today. We were talking about. I don't know if we mentioned that on the podcast today yet, but we mentioned it before, and he's not somebody who just shows emotion. He's really showing it, and I think the numbers tell that story. And I think
also
I expect him to come back to DJ life, and there's a lot of time, a lot of baseball left to make that happen. But he's probably hitting baseballs right now, just working at that because he's so pissed off.
Right.
A few thoughts on DJ. One, I think he'll bounce back. I don't know that he's going to win another batting title, but I mean, I think he'll be just fine. In the grand scheme of things, he is. Yeah, he's DJ LeMahieu. His lowest year, he hit like 280. So I don't know if that's true, but I know it's somewhere around there. I don't have the exact number in front of me, but he's a good hitter, and he's been hitting the ball hard. You looked up his metrics to fact check me because you're an asshole, but it was right.
No, because we have a baseball podcast. I don't want to mislead the fans.
I'm not going to mislead the fans. But either way, that hot take, I think his little meltdown is going to be the spark of something new. But one thing I kind of wanted to propose to you guys, I saw an article on Twitter from Bronx Pinstripes today. What do you think about moving him out of the leadoff hole? I think they had Judge there, but even if it's not Judge, what do you think about taking him out of leadoff?
Do you have a better solution?
Not necessarily. I just want to know your thoughts on it because I saw
an immediate no.
No, I think
they had Judge there, which I don't hate.
I think that's awful.
I think in the article they were talking about how Judge has more at bats with nobody on and 2 outs than anybody else in baseball. So, and he's got crazy on base, gets hits.
I don't think I could disagree with something more. I think Judge as a leadoff would be terrible.
I wasn't arguing one way or the other. I was just asking your opinion.
I'm letting you know my opinion. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm disagreeing with that article completely, if that's what they were saying. I disagree wholeheartedly with him being a leadoff. He's the actual opposite of what you want in a leadoff guy, and he's having a fantastic year. You do not want that to be the guy.
Well,
that's just the worst. That was the worst proposal I've ever heard in my life.
He has a 166 weighted runs created plus.
Now exactly how much pot
that guy, not you.
He has a 166 WRC plus, but he only has like 23 RBIs, which is their argument for that. Like I said,
that's not going to change much.
I'm not arguing one way or the other. I just want to know your thoughts. So I just wanted you to have the full scope of what I'm talking about.
And his sabermetrics are off the charts. He's in the 99th to 100 percentile in literally everything. And chase rate and whiff percentage and K percentage are all down, which is great. If you look at his baseball savant page, his shit lights the fuck up. And
MVP.
Dude, if he keeps playing like this and keeps playing, I don't think that's ever been a question. But yeah, I think that's a terrible take. I would never like to see Aaron Judge in leadoff spot ever. If he's in the leadoff hole, something has gone horribly wrong with DJ. So if DJ dies, I still don't think that he would go and it would not be. I think even that day they would still pencil in DJ's name to the leadoff hole. I don't think his name's coming out of that spot. If he's dead, I think as of just like to pay homage to DJ and out of respect, they'd still put him in the leadoff spot. I think that's his spot, and I don't think it'll ever change.
We'll start the game with an auto out, and we'll just do DJ penciled in, out, boom, let's roll to Stanton.
I think another.
It's basically how like 5 people in the lineup has been auto out, so it doesn't change much.
Hey, well, side note on that, thank God Mike Ford is optioned. If I had to watch him strike out on one more pitch in the dirt or looking at one more fucking curveball that just broke right into the middle of the plate, I think I would have lost my fucking mind. So good riddance, goodbye Mike Ford.
Yeah,
whatever.
I agree.
I don't. On that note, I don't. I mean, I know Mike Ford has been fucking terrible, but who the fuck's gonna play first?
I don't
dude?
care.
DJ.
Put me at first.
I don't like DJ at first.
I don't either,
think
but he's
Why?
the best option.
He's good.
the saddest thing in life is wasted talent, and I think that's wasted on first base, to be honest. And I don't think he's even. I don't think he's a bad
For
first
this
baseman,
team.
but he's also out of position. I'm a big supporter of the not putting players out of position. I'm in that camp.
That means you've played the show too many times.
No, it means I know that it's not easy. I reference softball a lot, but I got bumped to third base from shortstop, and dude, it's fucking hard. I wasn't comfortable.
You're not a pro
I was
baseball
bringing my
player.
glove
You're
up
a
on
drunk-
balls that I wasn't used to.
Yeah, you're a drunk asshole playing softball. Not a major. You're not a guy making
Just saying it's
$30
different.
million
What's
to
harder,
play.
Chandler? Really, what's harder?
You're right.
You
You know what?
that.
I commend you on moving to third.
The degree of difficulty, the catch probability that you put.
Playing drunk softball
If you've
might
had a
be harder
couple-
than hitting a 95 mile an hour fastball.
I think the stakes are relatively even. I think if you got as the beers flow, I think the expected catch percentage, which is a big stat they like to
barrel
talk
percentage
about.
definitely goes down.
Oh, I was talking defense, but yeah, the barrel percentage. I'm seeing fucking triple. Even if the ball is 10 times the size of a baseball, still tough to hit. And let me tell you, the softball pitchers, they can figure it out. Like I don't know.
That's true.
Dude, it's always the old guys. There's every team.
They're throwing knuckleballs.
No,
they
yeah.
got the little stutter
Yeah,
step.
they've
and
been
shit.
around the block.
Every team that we've faced has one guy who, and we've been trying to piecemeal a softball pitcher on our team, like who wants to step up. It's been like a revolving door of like, who's gonna bite the bullet today and be the pitcher and just get fucking lit up by whatever team that we're terrible. We're very bad. I think we're 1-7.
Yikes.
I had to take the night off. I didn't want it. We lost 25-2, probably because I wasn't there. But we don't have a pitcher. But it seems that every team does have a guy who can just drop it on the plate. And if it hits the plate, apparently that's a strike.
Yeah.
And they're always 40, like 8,
No, there's
49,
one,
50
there's one
years
age
old.
range. It's like upper 40s to 60. And they've all got the Tommy Copper knee brace on.
Yeah, he
And
literally
you
had
have-
that.
If you don't have the knee brace, you're not a good pitcher. And they don't throw underhand. They throw the underhand with the wrist flip.
With the flick, yeah, he flicks
the
it in
flick.
because
Exactly.
he wants to roll you over. Dude, they got it down to a fucking science.
Yeah, it's the guy that wanted to play like competitive men's league softball, but didn't quite make the cut. So he's playing beer league and takes it way too
He's trying to get the
serious.
call up.
Exactly. And he gets pissed off when you take 3 pitches in a row that are right off the plate. It's that guy.
No, like the guy we played last time literally got so angry, and there was a liner that was hit back at him. I don't want to talk too much about this, but I totally do. There was a liner that was hit right back at him, and it almost took his head off, and he missed it, and he was so mad at himself. And then the very next one, he gets a liner back at him. He snags it, makes the best play in the world. Complete stone cold face, didn't care. Everyone's like, "Yo, what a play!" He was like, "Yep." He had the ball in his glove. He was like, he was throwing it
fuck
back.
you
He's like,
guys.
"All right, who's up next? Come on." He cared too much. These guys, average age of the pitcher, it's like 70 years old.
All right, so Stanton.
No, not Stan. I want to get into something else.
He
What were we talking about?
Stanton should be
Chandler,
playing.
you got some parlays for us?
I do have a parlay for you. So tomorrow, my greasy parlay. Obviously, these lines are subject to change because baseball lines change like a motherfucker. The Indians over the Orioles -120. It's already changed. It started at, I think they were almost plus money. It might have been -110, but I mean, it's the fucking Orioles. -120 Indians over Orioles. We got the White Sox -165 over the Tigers. Another just absolute steal of a line for, again,
Tigers swept us.
that's not saying much.
Boys are hot.
And then Then I got the A's minus 135 over the Rockies, who are the worst team in baseball. So parlay those three together. That's my greasy parlay of the day. That comes in at plus 413. Go ahead and cash it out. I've got back-to-back greasy parlays, and we're in great shape for a third one tonight. So,
I mean, you heard it here. It's free money.
by the time you're listening tomorrow, I will have been 3 for my last 3 in greasy parlays, and we're literally robbing books blind with these lines if you get them early
It's
enough.
a money factory. What do you call it? What do you call the casino?
The free money place.
That's what I said, the world's biggest ATM. That's what we have right here.
I haven't been to the world's biggest ATM in a while.
The free money place is fun. My hammer for tomorrow. I know Luke wants to coin the word hammer, which I think is ridiculous. But my big play. Can I say that? My big play for tomorrow.
No, you can use hammer.
Is that allowed?
It plays.
My hammer for tomorrow.
Hammer only works if it's a 70-unit play on a minus 400 favorite. To call yourself a good gambler.
No, that's not what I've been doing.
Yeah, I took Alabama over UL Monroe.
What's the pick?
What's
the pick?
I hammered that. That was my hammer play. I played it for 70 units.
Follow my action if you want the hammer plays at 161 Luke on the Action Network. Download it.
I have the over.
Ass clown.
I have the over in the Dodgers Braves game.
Love that.
Okay,
it's over 9.
Can I get the starting pitcher matchup for that?
It's Julio
Urias,
and Ian Anderson.
Really? You're taking 9.5 on that?
No, just 9. It's 9 flat.
All right, I'll blindly follow.
Don't
love it.
Both teams have been scoring runs, and they both have over a 3 ERA. Anyway, if you want to follow our picks, head over to Action Network and look up our profiles. We got 161 Damin, 161 Luke, 161 Bing, and then 161 Murph, who was MIA today. But go ahead and follow our action and win some free money.
Can I share?
If you actually want to be good at gambling, go listen to the once a week podcast with the Action guys. They do numbers and shit.
Wednesday.
We just bet on our gut reaction.
They have like actual knowledge and points on what to do.
Yeah, they got like charts and shit and write articles.
Yo,
we're just drunk assholes.
We're not good enough for charts.
Can I share something with you guys?
Please do.
Sure.
I would be offended if you didn't.
Uh-oh.
Gripe alert. I know this isn't the reason we lost.
Oh.
And I know our offense sucks. And I know we're the worst base running baseball team on the planet. Shout out Gary. Shout out Glaber. NGO. But come on. Was that umpire today the worst umpire I've ever seen? I've been looking for the umpire scorecard from the Umpire Scorecard's Twitter account. Can't find it. I don't think they put it out yet.
What's his name? I'll
that
look it up.
umpire
scorecards.
What's the actual
that umpire crew
name?
needs to face life in prison.
I don't know. They usually say it on there too.
I'll find it.
I've been watching baseball religiously. Probably every day I've been watching, I don't know, at least 5 games a day for probably 12 plus years. That is the worst umpired game I have ever seen. The Kiermaier out of the baseline. What the fuck are you watching? Are we just going to, from now on, I think Yankees players should just run to the dugout, and if they don't tag him, just hop back on first, because that's the same fucking thing. I mean, what are you doing? I'm not asking much out of you. I don't want robot umpires because I like the human factor, but for fuck's sake, you are not making it easy on me.
All right, we have Chad Whitston.
Oh, fuck Chad Whitson. Worst person I've ever heard of. That was horrible. He should be ashamed. Go look at the graphs.
I found it.
What was it Josie McFly? He had the side-by-side charts. Go look at that. Unobjectively, that is one of the worst called games I've ever
seen. Crazy. It's literally crazy.
I mean,
he was stealing that inside strike because he was a lefty sidewinder, was Yarborough coming off the side. And Cole's, it's just different because Cole, his pitches it was beautifully umped for Cole. Like, he was getting the balls and strikes right, but dude, maybe it was the Yarborough funky delivery that was stealing the outside strike, and then maybe, Gary's obviously not good at framing, and one of the best defensive catchers was on the other side. Who was catching for the Rays?
Zanino.
Yeah,
but
Zanino's a great defender.
Higgy was catching for us.
No, he was not. Was he?
Yes, it was Cole starting.
Oh, you're right.
So
I don't know.
Look,
Unbelievable.
I don't even care. Like, here's my thing.
Strike
I
rate.
am so okay with, an average umpiring game, whatever. I like the human factor. Call it both ways. If you're going to call 3 balls off the plate, call it both ways. I don't care. I do not care what your strike zone is. I don't care if you throw in the other fucking dugout and call it a strike. Do it for both teams, which he wasn't doing today. And, they were bitching about it on the broadcast about how Cole didn't have his stuff. Cole looked good. To me, his pitches were sharp for the most part. He had a couple that hung and they got hit. But the umpiring crew today cost him 3 runs. It doesn't matter because they only scored 2, and you can't win a baseball game with 2 runs. That isn't the difference in the game, but it played a role. Like, if you're getting paid that much money to do your job, I'm not asking for perfection. Do it below average. That was worse than below. That was the worst umpired game I've ever seen in my entire life.
That's why it's my gripe.
It's a great gripe.
Gripe alert.
What the fuck was that Kiermaier play? I
don't know. Gripe alert.
I don't know. I mean, he fucking dove out of the baseline. He almost hit the first base coach. Terrible.
Gripe alert. I haven't had one of those in a little bit.
I could be really wrong about this because I don't really know how to read umpire data.
It's a good way to start it off. I think you are totally wrong. Now that you said it's umpire data that you're trying to react to, I have catch probability, probability of reading this accurately. I'm gonna put it at literally 2%.
I am trying.
I think that's high.
I am trying.
I'd prefer if you didn't.
I'm just gonna say quickly.
I'm gonna be honest.
The stats that I've looked up, it seems like this guy's a really accurate umpire, which makes me feel like
he threw the game.
He threw the game.
Agree. No.
Fucking asshole.
Think about it this way.
So they paid him.
They paid him.
Fuck the Rays, man.
Under the books.
It's who it is.
Did you hear the way? Oh,
you know who it is.
That
It's
was
probably
such
their
a grown man.
their
Oh, God.
douchebag pitching coach Kyle Snyder, who calls 45 fucking mound visits an inning. It's probably him. He probably paid him out of pocket.
dude, Kyle Snyder looks like a velociraptor.
Dude,
The way he runs out, too, because we see it so frequently. He trots out the slowest ever. Actually, I think somebody told him that to pick up the pace a little bit because the K calls him out every time.
Of shit on earth.
Yeah. No,
All
dude.
right, look. Let's compare people who make similar salaries. Doctor.
What do you say?
What are you saying?
Let me get there. Let's say a doctor comes out there and performs at his job the way the umpires did today. He's going to jail.
All right, Chandler.
That was fucking terrible. It was terrible. It was terrible.
Aren't
terrible,
you like
terrible.
the worst at your job? Didn't you just say you got thrown in the dog pound for being bad at your job?
I mean, yeah, but I'm not talking about me. I know I'm bad at my job, but I'm just saying.
I'm bad at this job too. I'm kidding, of course.
Nah.
I hope they put out something about
Kevin Cash cheating and paying them. What do we call that? There's Deflate Gate. I'm glad you went with the gate route.
I actually found it.
What?
The
He cheated?
No.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
I feel like that'd be a lot bigger story than him.
Well, we would break the news. Oh, I wish I had a break.
He's in the 36th percentile on accuracy, 33% percentile in consistency.
That's not good.
And
you said he was good.
I read the original stats wrong.
Oh,
I said I might have been wrong, but now I'm right.
Who was right
and
on their
he
projection?
Is the 25th percentile in favoring one side over the other.
So he picks a side. So he easily could be bought.
Yeah.
So I think we just cracked the code. He was before the game.
Yeah, he's 93.
Kevin Cash slipped him a fucking.
He's 93% accurate and 95% consistent, which is not
Dude,
good.
He's that bad? He probably slipped
good.
him like a fucking McDonald's cheeseburger before the game, and he was cool with it.
I was literally about to say
double cheeseburger.
No,
or what?
I was about to say
it's a McDouble. Dude.
McDouble?
There's that McDonald's right outside the stadium. He just
true.
rolled in, picked up a couple McDoubles. Like, hey, I know that the Yankees are probably going to play us okay today. Here's 2 double quarter pounders with cheese. Let's call it in our favor.
Yeah, like 26th percentile and let's call that being swayed factor.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's not good.
He's not a very, very high. He doesn't cost much to sway a game. So next time we got, what's his name?
Chad Whitston.
Chad Whitston. Next time he's in the game, let's just let's pull together. Honestly, we just said it might cost a couple bucks. Like each of us throw $1. I think Chad Whitston's calling it our
Dude,
day.
he had
Calling our way.
14 wrong calls in a Dodgers game this year.
That's not good.
That's not good. That's not good at all. That's a 91% accurate, which is not.
Could
good.
you imagine he wasn't the home plate ump that game too? Imagine he had 14 wrong calls as the third as like the third base ump.
Get Chad a fucking Jersey Mike sub Mike's way, and we're winning that game.
Aaron's
he'll throw
way.
it.
Aaron's way is right.
Either way, he'll throw it for Aaron's way.
Jeez.
Also, not really a gripe, but more of just like a statement. So Clint makes obviously the diving catches all the time. Like I said, has to be leading the league in these. This is a stat we should be tracking. Yeah. But I think in order to track it, you have to literally watch every single game, every single play, every single player, and write down every time they dive.
There's
for a ball.
definitely some stat somewhere about diving balls.
We'll find it. Updates
Hey,
to
we're
come.
partnered with Action. Let's get one of our Action guys to do it. They got
we'll
like
make that a
software.
We'll make a line. Will Clint lead the league in diving catches? But regardless, he did
minus
dive
500. Yes,
he did dive for another ball, and I think it's time that people need to stop. This isn't a gripe. This isn't enough for a gripe, and I won't press the button again. But people always say, he didn't need to dive for that ball, and even if that's true, which could be, I know he takes bad routes to the ball, and Boone even credited him while also smacking him in the back of the head with a comment, basically by saying, he got a bad read, but he was able to dive and make the play. That may be true, and I think it probably is true that he didn't have to dive for
all of them.
For like half of them, sometimes he gets a bad read, and that's how you make up for it. But you do make up for it, and that's getting way, way too nitpicky on the type of product we're expecting on the field.
Looking for something to be mad at.
We're not doing well in every facet of the game. Let's not nitpick Clint for potentially not needing to dive for a ball that he makes the play on anyway. Maybe if he dove for the ball and started missing him, then we could get into talking about, hey, did you need to dive for that ball? But for the time being, let's pump the brakes. Get off his fucking cock.
He's making the play, and it's exciting. Like, I'd rather see
it. It is cool.
If an out's going to be an out, I'd rather watch a fucking diving play than a pop-up.
Hop off his cock.
Amen, brother.
Why do you watch that? Why do you watch the game? Because it's fun to watch.
Is he a team player? He's diving for these balls.
Yeah.
It's juicing the team up.
He's not making a bad
that ball. We went out and won.
Yeah, he's not making a bad read and just saying, fuck it, and just letting it drop.
At least he knows he's making a bad read. He's trying to make up for it, but so people can't be like, hey, you made a bad read. Now they're saying, hey, you made a bad read, but you made up for it.
Also, he made a good catch. Shut up. He made the play.
Cool.
Why do you care? He made a good play, and you got to watch something really cool. You're welcome. You are welcome. You are welcome for letting you watch me make a great play.
He's doing us a service.
Some guy named David Romino just followed us on Twitter, and I totally thought that was you finally following us back.
I saw that.
David
too,
Romino.
I was like, did Damin just follow me on my personal Twitter that I've never used in my entire life?
Is that your alter ego, David Romino?
No, my alter ego is Damin Romero. That's what it's called.
It's Damian Romero.
Yeah, just said that.
You said Damin.
I said Damian Romero.
Check the tape.
Did you just roll your R?
I did.
That's a guy that took high school Spanish right there.
He's cultured.
Yep.
Grew up in a Spanish town.
Grew up with a lot of Spanish people.
So, I guess this is just like my get it off my chest part of the podcast. There's just a few things that I made notes of that I wanted to talk about.
We should incorporate a segment of just like quick fire shots of getting shit off our chest. So go for it.
I don't know if that counts, but
that's what she said.
No.
Quick fire shots, get it off your chest.
If it was on my chest.
On your chest. I was about to say that.
Well, the thing is, too, you said, I don't know if this counts, kind of took away from.
Yeah.
I miss Murph, dude.
So.
Murph, whenever I press that button, I have a direct correlation in my brain to Murph because he always grades my. We act like I'm saying it like he died. He didn't die. He's just working. But
fucking asshole had a good job.
He should just set up a podcast studio in the brewery bathroom.
Yeah.
Just, take a long shit and just do an episode real quick with us.
Not even that. How about he streams it live from the
brewery? iCarly.
No, we're driving traffic. There we go.
Brewery. I see it.
Nobody lives there. There's 4 people that live in that.
Yeah.
In that
exactly.
Town.
We got
Glens
4 new listeners. One of them played pro baseball.
It's like that iCarly episode where they did the live episode from detention. It'd be a live episode with Murph from the brewery.
I don't remember.
He totally gets drunk at work. He calls it just. He said he has to be knowledgeable, to when people ask him the menu. He just loves getting drunk.
Does anybody that works at a bar/brewery work sober?
I drink and I know things.
I would like to know that stat.
I would say 96% do not.
I would probably agree with you there. Oh, a couple injury
As somebody
updates.
that
A couple
grows
injury
up-
updates.
that grew up
Shut
in
up.
Fuck you.
What is it?
I say, as somebody that grew up in a town with one bar total,
With a lot of
and I know-
alcohol.
and I know most of the bartenders because there's one bar, all of them get shit-faced at work. So
I will say this about Chandler. One, you're a fun time. And two, he always has a drink in his hand, which may lead into the first comment. Fun time. I think that was me just trying to win him back.
Do you watch?
I don't know
It's
if
like
that's
from
a
Trailer
compliment.
Park Boys. The guy always has a drink in his hand.
like Ricky.
My uncle.
No, it's Julian. Julian's the one with the drink.
My uncle always has a drink in his hand. He's a fun time. And quick little injury updates. We probably should have done this. Excuse me. At the top of the show.
Hour and a half of this.
We should have probably done this at the top of the show, but Kluber has been a huge question mark, and apparently he's looking good, but going to throw on flat ground soon, so that's pretty cool. And Luis Severino, on Sunday, he's going to start his rehab assignment in Single A, was it?
Yeah.
Yep. Tampa Tarpons. Hey, I know three guys that have a Tampa Tarpons cup.
Shout out Tampa Tarpons. Go check out the YouTube. I'm holding a Tampa Tarpons cup. Bronx Pinstripes YouTube. We do the episodes on there if you want to check us out there. Tampa Tarpons. Let's go to Tampa. Last time we went to Tampa during spring training, it was like 50 degrees out. It was literally colder in Florida than it was in New York City.
We had an electric time there, though.
I'm surprised we didn't go to the free money store.
Place.
The free
did.
money store.
I did.
You did. Didn't you lose
Yeah.
like $3,000?
No, I won. I won like $400 or $500 in like an
paid for the
hour.
trip.
Yeah, it was awesome. You guys left me, and I was there by myself for like 4 hours.
We didn't leave you. We had a flight. You just decided to stay
Oh.
for an extra 2 weeks.
Fucking wah. Same thing. You could have stayed.
Did we talk about... Yeah, we did. I think we covered everything.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And then some.
Is Stanton gonna... Like,
No.
you mentioned it kind of before. This is what I was gonna kind of hit on again. You mentioned the off days and whatever before. Do you think... Oh, you mentioned working back on this recovery program because he just came off the IL. Do you think it's working back off a recovery program, or do you just think this is what he's going to do from here on out?
Here's my thing.
I wasn't
If you're gonna,
asking you.
if you're only good, well, I just want to toss this in here before you go.
guy's
It's
too
just one
comfortable.
quick little tidbit.
Everything's been a quick little tidbit.
I mean, this is literally one
Just
sentence.
go for it. Go.
If you're not healthy enough to play every day, if you're only healthy enough to play every day or every other day, you don't need to be on the team. Give the roster spots to somebody that can play.
I would disagree with that, considering he's been the only bat that can actually prove they can get a hit. So if he
Not
is
recently.
in the line, come on.
No, that's what I'm saying. If you're hurt and you can't swing at 100%, I don't want you there every other day at 50%.
I don't think he's hurt. I just think he hasn't had enough time to get back, and he's obviously the most streaky player on the
If you're
planet.
hurt, if you're hurt, you're hurt. If you're hurt, you're hurt. Sit on the fucking bench, let somebody else hit, come back fully healthy, and get back to where you were.
We don't
That's all
have
I'm
the
saying.
bat. I don't think we physically have bats. Like who's next up to take that roster
Gittens.
spot? Gittens.
Why is he not?
Everybody wants him.
Dude, he mashes.
Give him a chance. I get it. Is he in AAA or double?
He's in AAA. He's fucking 1. OPS. Give the guy a shot. He's 27. He's not
I don't
gonna be
see
a
why
minor leaguer
not.
forever.
I don't see why not.
People bitch about him not being on the 40-man. I mean, just give him but work it out. Figure it out. Ryan Lamar does not need to be on the 40.
All the guys at 161st Street, I just have 2 words for you. See ya. All the guys at 161st Street, I just have 2 words for you. See ya.
That's what she said.
Gripe alert.
Now exactly how much pot did you smoke?